Thank you for downloading the TheFlixters podcast. On this week's episode, just to name a few, I mean, obviously we've got One Division coming out on the 15th. That's really like soon. We've got the Schneider Cut in March. We've got Falcon and Winter Soldier in March. We've got Loki in May. We've got Black Widow. We've got Eternals. We've got Godzilla vs. King Kong. We've got The Conjuring 3. The Devil Made Me Do It.
We've all been decimated. There's no one alive, or we're basically fucked. That is basically his message. And there's one.
It also does make sense that in the future, Earth is going to be fucked because that's what's happening. You know, just ask Greta Thunberg or whatever her name is. I'm sure she loved this film. I've got a good friend of mine who he watched it and he texted me in the middle of the night and he said, "Do not watch this in Jesus' name."
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of TheFlixters. This episode is particularly exciting because, Deval, we are sitting in 2021. Oh my gosh, we got through the shitfest that was 2020. We got through flipping COVID. Well, actually, no, I can't even say we've got through COVID because it's still going on, right? Wherever you look, man, the COVID news is still there. But listen, this is a COVID-free episode, folks. So we're not even going to, well, actually, we might mention a little bit about it.
I've still got a little bit in my system.
Oh, shit.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We're wishing you the internet wishes, yeah. Hoping you get better. But listen, we were just speaking just before we hit record that there's so much stuff going on, right?
There's a lot. I mean, I'm going to put out something on social media about all the good shows and movies that are going to be coming out. But just to name a few, I mean, obviously we've got One Division coming out on the 15th. That's really like soon. We've got the Schneider Cut in March. We've got Falcon and Winter Soldier in March. We've got Loki in May. We've got Black Widow. We've got Eternals. We've got Godzilla vs. King Kong. We've got The Conjuring 3. The Devil Made Me Do It. That's going to be a horror film and a half. We've got Antlers. Antlers is looking like a really good horror film as well. We got I don't know if I mentioned Dune already. We've got Morbius. We've got Venom. I could sit here all day and talk about it, but honestly, this year there's a lot, and that's just the movies, the TV shows as well that are coming out as well. I didn't even mention Spider-Man. Come on,
man!
Yeah, there's a lot. There is a lot. There's a lot.
Listen, TheFlixters, we've got our work cut out for us this year because we're going to be watching, we're going to be reviewing, we're going to be umming, we're going to be eyeing, we're going to be laying into stuff. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some turkeys that we're going to watch as well. So over the next 12 months, we are going to be coming at you like before, and we want you to stick with us on this journey because, we want to kind of keep doing this for, as long as possible because we enjoy it and we hope you're enjoying it. And with that being said, let's do some shout-outs. Our first shout-outs for 2021, Devel.
Yeah, first shout-outs for 2021. These are all in relation to Wonder Woman 84. Oh my gosh. So we saw that ourselves about a week ago or so, and we reviewed it last week. And I'm telling you, a lot of people have been laying into this film. I mean, I know we reviewed it last week, and I think obviously it was like a first sort of viewing, and you know what? I think we could have actually, the whole show could have been us laid into this film because it was just a next level bad. And King Solani, she loves Wonder Woman. She loves DC actually. I think she's more DC than Marvel. She did not like it at all. Very, very disappointed. Cloud Watcher Uno, he's got a podcast as well called Cloud Watcher Uno. Also got an Instagram page about eclectic music, so check that one out. But yeah, he didn't like it at all as well. Zakharov, our good friend Zakharov, who listens to the show every week, he was giving some other film recommendations as well as also saying that he didn't like Wonder Woman. Some people didn't even finish it, I've got a good friend of mine who he watched it and he texted me in the middle of the night and he said, "Do not watch this in Jesus' name." That's what his words were. That's what he said. He didn't realize I'd already watched it, but he said, "Do not watch this film." And I was watching it, and I was watching some YouTube videos taking the piss out of it, and it made me think. Remember towards the end. Okay, guys, spoilers, but you know what? I don't even care.
Yeah, screw it.
I'm sure. Yeah, just don't watch it. But yeah, towards the end, remember when Wonder Woman was trying to get to Maxwell Lord, and he was doing that kind of, end of level boss shouting into the sky kind of thing. And it was all windy. and she couldn't get towards him. When you sit and think about that, yeah, hold on a second. You think, hold on, Wonder Woman couldn't get to Maxwell Lord because it was windy. The wind was blowing her away. Yeah, yeah. The wind from this artifact or from whatever he was doing was blowing her. When you think about that, Wonder
It's
Woman
crazy.
she's fought Superman. She's fought Doomsday. She's fought Ares, the god of war.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman can lift up tanks. And you're telling me a bit of wind is what stopped her from getting to him. When you sit and think about that, it's just a joke.
And the whole turnaround, the thing that annoyed me about it was the whole turnaround. This guy, he's power hungry, and all of a sudden he's just gonna, I don't know, he's just, her bit of whispering in his ear and stuff is just going to change around. I kind of like was annoyed with that. But check this out. King.Silani, she said, this is what I love about what she said. She said, I felt cheated by DC Comics. So many people have said exactly that. Like if you go online and you go on Twitter and you read some of the stuff that people are saying, they feel exactly the same way, that they were cheated. And this is bad, man. When Wonder Woman, the first one, was kind of like highly rated. It did really well.
It was, yeah. I actually watched it again the other day, and I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, but there you go. So what the magic that they had with that film is obviously lost in this one, and like, yeah, don't even get started on the whole cheater thing. But yeah, so like those guys, yeah, thanks for kind of like you know talking to us about this, because we love having that kind of little bit of a debate, and this nicely leads on to some of the movie news that we're going to speak about, Deval, which is about Wonder Woman.
Yeah, again, we're ripping into it. I wonder if King.Solani was talking about cheater when she felt cheated, or was it just a pun? But yeah, Wonder Woman 84, it rates really low, the lowest of the DCEU films on IMDb. And yeah, I mean, the rating, every time I see it, it goes down a little bit more. So we're at the moment on IMDb, Wonder Woman 84 is rated 5.5. Oh my gosh, the other day it was 5.6. Yeah, so it's gone down again. I remember when it was first released, it was 80 something on Rotten Tomato or something like that. It was certified fresh anyway, but I think that's DC telling the journalists, you better rate this high, and here's a check for you as well.
Yeah,
so the Justice League, that one was being cussed all the time. That's 6.3. I mean,
6.3. Well, Batman versus Superman, I think, is like 6 point something as well.
Yeah, I think that's 6 point something. But even when you think about it now, you think like it's actually not bad, 6.4. So
yeah,
that's low in that respect. But Wonder Woman 84, yeah, the lowest rated IMDb movie, lower than Suicide Squad as well. I mean, come on, it's just,
that's bad.
And then there's more movie news about it, because obviously the third one has to happen. This was always going to be a trilogy. Patty Jenkins from years ago was saying that, yeah, she's got the trilogy all eyed out. She knows what it's going to be, and she better make sure she fixes up big time. She better invite Zack Snyder to come and write, because I think that's one of the reasons why it was so shit. He wasn't involved in the writing, but they're looking at bringing a big character into Wonder Woman 3, and that's going to be Liam Neeson. This is all a rumor, by the way, but
yeah.
It's lightning can strike twice in the same place, pun intended. Because he was also Zeus in, remember, Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans,
Released the Kraken. So he's been Zeus before. He's got the suit in his wardrobe. I'm sure it still fits him. And I'm sure he wouldn't say no to that, would he?
And just remind me again, what's the connection between Wonder Woman and Zeus? Is what she's his? No, how was that again? They're daughters of Zeus, are they, or what? I can't remember.
Yeah, I know. The old gods, they're quite randy, isn't it? They always came and mated with. I say mated. They're humans. They came and had sex or relations with different people. So Wonder Woman is a demigod, and I believe, I'm not sure if it was Zeus, but I think maybe it was, but. He had relations with Queen Hippolyta,
right?
And then obviously, Wonder Woman came out. So I think that's a story anyway. But yeah, so I think she has got god lineage in her blood. That's why she's so strong, obviously.
That's mad. Yeah. That is mad. But yeah, the big news there is, folks, that it's not doing great. And just on that, Patty Jenkins, she was being interviewed, and apparently she came out and she said she had to put her foot down. The opening scene, there's a fight scene in the beginning where Wonder Woman, she kind of deals with some guys. They were robbing something in the mall. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
And then before that, you have the scene where she's a little kid and she's doing that race thing.
Yes.
Apparently, she had to put her foot down and say, no, these two scenes, they have to be in the movie. But apparently, DC, Warner Brothers, they didn't want the beginning bit. They didn't want, the whole thing in her as a kid thing. They didn't want it for some reason.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
That's a bit mad, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a nice little. I guess it's like a lesson to show you shouldn't cheat. You should work for everything, because in the, I guess everyone in the film, they just want stuff and not have to work for it.
Yeah.
So that's that kind of message, But I heard also as well that this film only had, Wonder Woman 84 only had one deleted scene. Everything else was put in there.
Is it? Wow.
Only one scene was deleted out. And that's why the film is 2.5 hours long. And that's why there's so many probably dry scenes in there that just should have come out. The film should have had, this should have been the one that Warner Brothers executive came and said, yep, this needs to be under 2 hours. This was the one to do it.
Cut it. Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, it's just a big mess. And it's a shame because Wonder Woman is still my favorite Justice League character. Yeah, I still love the way she fights. I still love her attitude. I liked it when she first showed up in Batman, Superman, and she was fighting Doomsday. Yeah, and then she when she gets hit, she does a little smirk and she goes back again for round 2. Like, she's a proper fighter. I love that about her, but we didn't get that in 84. So
damn. Yeah. So the other rumor thing is that this has to be set in modern day. So it's got to be set in the 2020s now. So what we'll find out what's happened to her since 1984 to kind of 2024 whenever it comes out. But anyway, let's move on to some other DC news. The Flash now, Devado, the Flash movie is happening, isn't it? Because we've already spoken about this. Ezra Miller, he's going to be Barry Allen, and what I loved about this whole thing was the joining of the multiverse was Ezra Miller meeting the Flash, Barry Allen, on the TV. So on the Arrowverse Flash, so that was great, linking up in Elseworlds or can't remember what it was called now, but they linked up. But what's going on with the actual Flash movie?
Yeah, it's about to start filming, in April, in about 3-4 months' time here in the UK. So I'm not sure what that means exactly, as in why it's filming in the UK. But a lot of films these days, big budget films, film in the UK a proportion of the film for tax relief. So that might be the reason there. But also, I guess with these films, they're universal. They can go in any country at any time. But yeah, it's just good to hear that it's actually going to start filming. Ezra Miller's going to be involved, as you just said. Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton are also confirmed as well. They're on IMDb, so it's going to happen. Directed by Andy Muschietti, who brought us It 1 and 2. So this one's going to be very, very interesting because, like you said, it's going to dip into different multiverses, and the Speed Force is going to be involved, and it's just going to be a bit crazy. So this one could have massive implications to the rest of the DCEU. Maybe with this film, he might be able to run so fast that he wipes Wonder Woman 84 from all existence.
Ooh,
that could happen.
That's interesting. Yeah, man, it's interesting. I mean, anything can happen. And listen, we've already heard rumors. You heard it on the TheFlixters, folks. Henry Cavill. He wants to play the role again. He could come back. Maybe as kind of like a cameo or something. So maybe this leads into a whole new kind of multiverse where there is. Henry Cavill back as Superman, and like you said, Ben Affleck's going to be coming back again as well. So yeah, man, this is great. I'm looking forward to that.
Might get Brandon Roof. Brandon Roof might come back as Superman Returns, because as we see, there's different versions of the same character. So it could, this could be really interesting. If they do it right.
Yeah, and this new guy, Tyler, I don't know what his surname is. So this guy called Tyler, he's the new Superman on the TV screen. So that's Lois and Clark.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
you know what? The fact you mentioned that. That's another thing I've got. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's another thing that I just don't like the look of.
I know.
have you seen? I know I shouldn't cuss people. Yeah, I'm not
But
cussing.
I don't like it. It's just like weird. I know
Could they get another
exactly what you
Lois? That
mean.
Lois is just no.
I
Could
know,
they get
man.
another?
Why?
Could they get
Why?
another Lois? She looks like
You
his
know,
mum.
it's so true. It's so true. And you know what? She's on the same level as what I thought Kate Bosworth was for Superman Returns, man. His
Yes.
mum vibes, man.
Like so, who did this?
Who
Is not
is?
lowest level Lois. Nah,
No, no
telling you,
way.
she's not.
I know,
I'm
man.
like,
No,
nah, nah,
no,
nah,
no, no.
nah. She's not the
Recast that.
one.
Recast that shit and give us the real Lois Lane, man. Seriously, yeah, she was annoying.
Exactly.
All right, so listen, so that's the Flash, and we'll keep you, clued in with all the other DC stuff. But let's speak about Love and Thunder Divaldo. This is happening. What's going on here?
Yeah, so he's going to start filming again. This is going to start happening from this week, actually. Chris Pratt goes to Australia to begin filming Love and Thunder, otherwise known as Thor 4. And he's mentioned that he's going to be in this. And there's also rumors that this could be another sort of Captain America Civil War level movie. Yeah, so
Hope
that was
so.
like a Avengers 2.5 almost, some people were calling it.
Yeah, it was,
Because
yeah.
there were so many Avengers in it, and this could be another one like that. We're seeing, Christian Bale come as Gore, the God Butcher, a massive character. Tessa Thompson's back in it. Natalie Portman got a massive, massive cast. Even Jamie Alexander's coming back as Lady Sif. So these are all big characters, and it just looks like this one could be a big, big movie. So yeah, they're going to start filming for a release in February 2022, which is only just over a year's time, sorry. So it's not that long away. So I'm looking forward to this one. I mean, Gore the God Butcher is a big character. He's like, like Odin is scared of him.
Oh, shit.
So
This is
yeah,
mad.
they're going to need some help.
Exactly, you're going to need some help. All right, okay. Tell us about some other rumors in Marvel world.
Another rumor is this one came from our good friend Emmanuel, who gives us lots of information.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that there could be an appearance or a mention of Wolverine in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is coming out in March on Disney Plus. So yeah, there's a lot of news, a lot of murmurings about some of the Disney Plus shows slowly drip feeding and just slowly bringing in other characters that are going to be a big influence in the MCU. So Wolverine is part of Weapon X, part of the government's sort of testing or trying to replicate the Hulk sort of serum, and obviously from that they got super soldier serum and so on. So who do we know that's involved in stuff like that? Yes, it's General Ross.
Yep, yeah.
No, not General Ross. What's his name?
Striker.
No, the other one that's that was chasing Hulk. What was his name? Yeah, he was in Civil War as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, sorry, Ross. Yeah, Ross.
Is it Ross? So it is Ross. I'm getting mixed up. Yeah,
it's Ross. Yeah.
Thunderbolt Ross, that's the one, isn't it? Yeah, so him. Yeah, so he's also been involved in trying to recreate that. We saw that in Incredible Hulk, remember, with
Abomination.
Abomination, exactly. So we know he's involved in that, and in the comics and cartoons, he puts the serum inside himself, and he becomes Red Hulk. So that's maybe the reason why there could be hints at there being a Wolverine mention in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Hope so.
I mean, they're going to try and recreate Captain America because they want one that the government can control, which is why we're going to get what's that one's called again?
Oh, US agent.
US agent, exactly. So there's a lot going on with this, and it looks like Falcon and Winter Soldier are going to be doing a lot of investigating, and going around the world and all sorts. So yeah, it's interesting, this one. So this one could give us a few Easter eggs for a lot more.
I think so. And remember, they need to start teasing out the X-Men, right? So we know about there's talk about the Fantastic Four, and we know that in the Eternals they could lay the groundwork for how the X-Men came about and stuff like that. So all this stuff is going to be coming out, and I'm pretty sure starting from January the 15th, man, there's going to be so many Easter eggs to kind of get through. So we will definitely let you know about that. And speaking about the Eternals, what is there's some big news there, right?
This is a big one, but at the same time, do take this with a little bit of a pinch of salt. But there is some sort of rumors flying around that in Eternals, which is due to come out in November 2021, that Galactus and or Silver Surfer may be mentioned or referred to or, show up. Who knows? But,
Wow.
the Eternals are a very, very ancient people. They were around from, like, I want to say immortals. I want to say immortals, or the people that Thanos' people came from, and the Celestials. That's
The
the word. So
Celestials,
the
yeah, yeah.
Celestials, yeah. So, and then obviously Thanos' people were linked to that as well. They go around, sparking up civilizations in different planets, and the Eternals were around first, and they've been dormant for all this time, hiding in plain sight. So, things like Galactus and Silver Surfer are, they're universal. They're everywhere, and an ancient civilization may know of people like that. So there's this mention that maybe the Eternals, in their sort of the history of where they've come from, they may mention Silver Surfer or Galactus. I hope
Wow.
they don't try and bring these characters in too soon, or because Galactus is not a character who you can deal with in one film. If he's
Nah.
going to be around, he needs to stick around and come back and go and come back and go and stuff. So yeah, so that's like I said, a pinch of salt, but it could happen in Eternal. So look out for that one.
Yeah, and there's rumors as well. I mean, I'm not pretty sure. I mean, I haven't been on the IMDb page, but they're saying Harry Styles has been cast in Eternals as well, or he's got a role in it as well. This guy's he's popping up everywhere.
He is, yeah, he is, yeah. Okay,
all right,
yeah.
Okay. Now let's get back to movie news with some horror news. This time now, Devaldo, remember, we've always kind of mentioned the Exorcist movie, that movie from the 1970s, which freaked the shit out of me when I was a kid when I watched it, and it's got some really, really nasty bits in there. But check this out. They kind of went back to that kind of franchise. They tried to do like an Exorcist 2, an Exorcist 3, and we've spoken about that on the show before. Then they did a prequel, which was made in 2005, which was really poorly received. William Friedkin, the director, he tweeted just recently, I think it was like December the 16th, he said, no amount of money, there could be no amount of money that would get me to make or put my name towards another Exorcist movie. So people are thinking, oh shit, man, we're not going to see William Friedkin do another Exorcist movie. However, Blumhouse Films are actually going to be making an Exorcist sequel. And the guy that they've got, check this out, the guy that they've got is someone called... let me make sure I get his name right, because David Gordon Green, he directed Halloween. Remember 2018, the movie that the movie review that I always crack up on.
Yeah.
So
okay.
he directed that movie, and Blumhouse have somehow got the rights off Warner Brothers or whatever they're going to do, because I think Warner Brothers have got that. And yeah, they're going to bring back Exorcist. So man, this is going to be good, I think. Blumhouse.
Wow, yeah, it's in good hands. If it's in Blumhouse hands, it's in good hands. But that's really powerful. What the previous director said, he's not going to put any money. That means he's really passionate and really protective about Exorcist, because it is something that spans generations.
Yeah,
so
man.
Wow, he's serious about that. But yeah,
exactly.
I mean, Blumhouse should do a good job. I think so.
I reckon they do a good job. And for people who haven't seen The Exorcist, I mean, listen, seriously, this is it's a shit scary movie, and there's some scenes in there which are quite graphic, which you just have to kind of watch. Just take our word for it. Go out and watch it. And okay, finally, now do you remember, Devaldo, this movie? It came back since the pandemic, so since about March, April time of last year. Contagion, that Steven Soderbergh movie about a virus that gets released and basically decimates, the whole of mankind. It had Gwyneth Paltrow, Jude Law, what's his name? Bourne was in it as well. Bloody hell, I've forgotten his name.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon is in it. How, big, varied cast. Well, Steven Soderbergh apparently is working on a sequel to that movie, and it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because his movie back in 2011 spoke about a pandemic that could destroy humanity. And although obviously in real life that hasn't happened to the extent that it happened in the movie, I guess it makes sense for him to kind of revisit that whole scenario because it did happen kind of like in real life. It is happening in real life.
Yeah, you know what? That's going to be powerful, you know?
It's mad, isn't it? So
Yeah.
basically, Steven Soderbergh, he's kind of, been on record. He said, I've got a project in development. And he says this, he's calling it a philosophical sequel to Contagion, but in a different context. So you'll kind of look at the two of them as a kind of paired but very different hair colors. So these are his words. This is Soderbergh's words. You know what, man? It's interesting. So you kind of watch Contagion and you think, shit, man, this is mirrored in real life. And then it'd be interesting to see kind of what happens with, I don't know, the aftermath of that, people dealing with the pandemic. What happened once you get a vaccination? Does it really go away? I don't know. We're going to have to find out, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And I know one person that's had it so far. He said there was nothing to it and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But it's still early days, you know, in the whole sort of phase of rolling out vaccinations and stuff and monitoring and all that. And I've heard some rumors and some cases where people have, you know, had, you know, actual things happen to them, you know, like bad things with their health, you know, loss of this or loss of that, or, you know, being hospitalized. So you just never know. But
you just don't know. I've asked people and I've said, would you take the vaccination as it is right now? And you know what? A lot of people said no.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just, oh man, it's just pretty tough. But listen, folks, that's your movie news for this episode. And obviously, you know, check in with us again for next week's episode. We're going to bring you more movie news. But let's check out Box It, Watch It, Devado. What's happening there?
Yeah, I've got a couple of quick ones to talk about, and they're both really, really, really good.
Nice.
The first one is called Unbelievable. This is on Netflix, 8 episodes. And it's based on true events, actually. And it's about a serial rapist that goes around raping women in America. And the story also follows a young girl, actually, who is raped by this person, and she goes through a whirlwind of all kinds of emotions and all kinds of stuff. And she says it, you know, it happened. Then she says it didn't happen. Then she says it happened, didn't happen. And it is one big mess. And her life is flipped, turned upside down. And it sort of follows her journey through it. But also, Toni Collette is one of the police detectives who are trying to find this rapist. And she's really good in this, as well as another actress called Merritt Weaver. And they are both, like, you know, dynamic duo trying to find this guy who is, like, according to like what they say, he is like meticulous in, you know, making sure that he doesn't leave any clues or anything like that. So it's really, really hard to find him. So in the 8 episodes that you watch, it's just a proper like cat and mouse chase trying to get this guy. And I'm not going to say what happens in it, but yeah, it's it's powerful, obviously powerful subjects, but it's really well made, and I think worth a watch. It's only one season, so that's it.
Wow,
But
man,
yeah,
that
really
sounds
good,
really
really
good.
good.
Yeah,
It is. It's really good. Honestly, it's really good. And the time, they flip between different times as well in the show, which is interesting as well. But yeah, it's a really decent show. Really decent.
wow.
Next one is one called Industry, which just came out in November. And I just got around to watching it about 2 weeks ago. Industry is a show about young graduates that sort of come up in the financial industry in London. And oh my gosh, this one is like, it's just crazy. I mean, it's first of all, it's starred, or the people that star in it, Mahala Herod, who's a young actress. I think she's only been out for 2 years or so, hardly, like, literally got anything on her IMDb, but she's really good. Marissa Abella, uh, David Johnson. We've also got Ken Lung in this one, and he's been an X-Men. He was an X-Men Last Stand.
Is it?
He's
Okay.
been in, he's been in a bunch of stuff back from, you know, he's been in Sopranos, he's been in Lost, he's been in Star Wars, actually. He's been in quite a lot of stuff. He's like the sort of, you know, seasoned vet in this show. But yeah, this show it's all about young bankers in the trading sort of investment banking industry They're all like 22 years old, come out of uni, they're on like a graduate scheme thing, and they all want to succeed by any means necessary. And it's about the mad shit that goes on, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll that goes on behind the scenes. People that are working too hard and have to take drugs to try and stay awake, and how it affects them, the relationships, people sleeping with this person, that person, trying to sleep with clients, and it is crazy.
Sounds
These
good.
kids are, it's really good. 8 episodes on BBC or HBO. HBO, need I say more?
It's going to be great.
It's so raw. Some of the sex scenes in this, you think to yourself, oh my gosh, they're actually having sex, aren't they? It is crazy. It is really good, but it's really good. But yeah, if you can watch that one, give it a watch. It's really, really good. Even though it's based in London, there are a few American actors in there as well. So it's quite diverse. So yeah, give that one a go. Industry.
Brilliant. That sounds good, man. I'm going to put that on the watch list. Now, let's check out what's coming out on streaming or some new trailers and stuff. Now, this one is, a lot of people have been speaking about this. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but this is Death to 2020. What is this?
Yeah, this is like a sort of Netflix special, taking a look back at the sort of mad events of 2020, but in a sort of comedic perspective. So you've got people like Samuel L. Jackson, you got Hugh Grant, you got Lisa Kudrow, you got Kamil Nanjiani.
Yep.
You've got a few other comedians as well and actors. Martin Lawrence Fishburne's in it as well.
Wow, bloody hell.
You got quite a few people sort of in it. Charlie Brooker is the creator, and this is the same guy who did Black Mirror. So this is the one that I think we sort of mentioned that he might be involved in. But yeah, it's a bit of a satirical look on the events of 2020. Obviously very serious, but also lots of mad, crazy events, funny events as well. So that's the kind of sort of spin that they're sort of taking on it. So I've not seen it yet, but I heard it's interesting. It's only an hour and 10 minutes. So it's like a one-time watch kind of thing. So yeah, this is on there. So if you guys need something to do while you're on lockdown, pretty much everyone is, then, look, watch Death to 2020.
Yeah, man. Now, this next one, Deval, we spoke about this probably about a month ago, and this is, again, another BBC production, man. BBC, man, they're really going for it with some of these programs. But yeah, Black Narcissus. So we kind of saw the trailer. I mean, I saw the trailer, and it was interesting about these nuns. They were in a remote place in near the Himalayas or something like that, in Tibet or Nepal. I can't remember exactly where it was. And loads of shit goes down, right? There's like sex, and there's intrigue, there's kind of like drama and all this stuff going on. But yeah, what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, you're right. It is in the Himalayas, and you're right. It's a bunch of nuns that go there to try and open up, or I guess sort of do up this old building to make it a sanctuary for people in the area. And yeah, it's starred by Gemma Atherton, who's really good. She's been in many stuff before. Aisling Francosi, who's a really good up and coming actress. She was in the show that I watched called The Fall a few weeks ago. Also Nightingale, really good film with sort of Aboriginal, sort of Australian. Can I ask a question actually? Maybe you might know.
Yeah.
I was talking to my cousin the other day about Australia and, Aboriginal people and stuff like that. And she said to me, oh, no, you can't say that anymore. It's now the term is first generation or something. Or
first people.
Oh, first people. So that's the right term now. First people.
First people. Okay. Yeah. But you know what? I mean, you know what? But then again, I've got to say that I've heard loads of Australians use the word Aboriginal people. So.
Maybe it's one of those ones that take time to
filter through and like.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
so
like TheFlixters, but that's be ahead of the curve.
Exactly. So first people, first nation. I think it's First Nation people, and but I hear a lot of people say Indigenous people, Indigenous languages, and like I've even heard people say like Aboriginal people as well. But if it's obviously no offense if we say it, and like we don't, obviously there's no offense meant by any of that. But I think it's a lot of people here they say first people, First Nation people.
Okay, cool. Every day's a school day. Obviously, we've got the teacher here.
The teacher, man. We got to dish it out to people. We've got to teach, Devaldo. Come on.
Days were over. Never.
Oh, shit.
The Black Narcissus. I've only seen one episode so far, but it's a very sort of strange. I wouldn't say it's totally horror, but there's horror elements to it. There's drama elements to it, but it's very strange and dark and just very weird. So it's quite intriguing. Even the title itself is such an intriguing title. That's why I had to watch it. So I'm still going through it. I'll let you guys know how it is once I get through it.
Is it, man? Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
It's
but
kind
it's a
of
strange one. That's all I can say. It's strange. That's all I
yeah.
can say.
It did. I kind of did get that vibe, kind of like mystically, kind of like suspenseful type of a thing. All right, now here's a program that I want to speak about, and I think people should go out and see it. I've only actually seen the first episode of this, so I don't know how the other episodes are, but you can catch all the episodes right now on BBC iPlayer in conjunction with Netflix. Now the thing is, I think what's going to happen is they're going to wait until a period where it's out there, and then I think this is going to come out on Netflix in North America and stuff. So if you can wait for this, please do. But this is called The Serpent, and it's based on a true story, and it stars a guy called Taha Rahim. He's this French actor, and he plays, the story on this is crazy, by the way. He plays Charles Sobrage, all right? So this guy is he is a real person. He was Vietnamese Indian who was a kidnapper, was a mugger and a murderer in the 70s. And the story is absolutely mad. He basically went from robbing people, robbing hippies, going from country to country in Southeast Asia, like say, for example, Vietnam, Thailand, India, Nepal, all these different places. He'd rob people, he would murder people, and then eventually he got caught and then he was kind of sent to prison. So this program called The Serpent, his nickname, the media gave him this nickname, The Serpent, because he evaded the authorities, like, in so many different countries. He would lie to people. He had fake passports. He would get away, from all these different people. So The Serpent is the telling of his story about how he began, how it all happened, and his eventual, obviously, capture and, so on and so forth. It also stars Olivia Colman, who's this British actress. We've seen her in lots of things, The Crown, Doctor Who. She's really great and everything. But yeah, you know what? It's really interesting. It's set in the 70s. So, sideburns, flares, tash, those fashionable sunglasses that everyone seems to be wearing all over the place, like in 2021. So it's got all of that going for it. I think it might turn out to be actually overall like pretty good. So if you like your true stories, your crime stories, this is pretty good. The only thing that I have issue with is this, right, Devaldo? They cast a French actor to play a Vietnamese Indian. And, when we're in this kind of day and age where, people kick up a stink about, flipping Gal Gadot is playing Cleopatra and stuff like that. And and I'm thinking, well, listen, all right, if people are getting pissed off about that, well, where was the outcry about casting like a French actor playing a Vietnamese Indian? I'm pretty sure there are Asian actors out there who could have done this role.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it's just a bit weird. So that was the only thing that was a bit weird, because I was like, well, hang on, you've picked a French guy. Okay, they've put a bit of makeup on him, they've kind of darkened him up a bit, but come on,
serious.
Oh
my gosh.
yeah, it's just like, come on, BBC, you could do better than that. So and I'm sure there are Asian actors out there who are like fantastic and who could have done the role. So yeah, I mean, it's all kind of, that's just kind of a little bit of a side note. But yeah, it's called The Serpent. It's on BBC. You can watch it, and I think, yeah, you should. And the next one, okay, I got to mention this. I haven't seen it just yet, but it's on my watch list. This just was released a couple of days ago. This is Cobra Kai Season 3. This was the show that Google actually bought the rights to, and they put out seasons 1 and 2 on the Google Play service or whatever they had, the YouTube service. And then I don't think a lot of people watched it. So then Netflix, they bought the rights and they pumped some money into it, so they've obviously brought out season 3. I can't wait. It's that whole story about Daniel LaRusso and the other guy, what happened to those guys after the events of Karate Kid. And it's, it's really good, Devaldo. I don't think you've seen it, right? You haven't seen it, have you?
I've not seen it yet, no.
If you've got the time, I know there's a lot of stuff that we've got to watch. But yeah, man, if you can kind of weave it in there somehow, it's funny. The episodes are only like about 25 minutes long. It's, not taxing enough. But, they've got that kind of nostalgia going for them. Like, that if you were a fan of the Karate Kid movie and, you want to find out what happened to those guys, definitely it should be on your watch list. And also, just quickly, I want to mention this one, Alice in Wonderland. This is a Japanese production, and it's this kind of weird Hunger Games meets Saw meets Battle Royale type of a show where this kind of event, some crazy event happens and three friends, they're the only ones left in Tokyo, and they've got to basically go through a number of games, and they've got to survive those games. If they don't survive the games, they can die in the games, and they team up with other people as well. It's mad, it's crazy, and you know what? Yeah, man, I actually think it's quite all right. It's called Alice in Wonderland, and it's only like about 10 episodes long. I'm on episode number 8, so I'm going to finish that. If you got time, watch that as well if you can, folks. And that's it.
Interesting. Okay, nice one.
Yeah. All right. What we doing next now, Devado? Anniversary corner. Okay. So, yeah, man, we've got some great movies for you, folks. So this is from 10 years ago, 2011. That sounds so weird. Apollo 18.
Yeah. So this is, well, it's decades old found footage from NASA's abandoned Apollo 18 mission, where the astronauts were sent to, I think it's the sort of the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, some region of the moon that they weren't supposed to go to, I guess. And it's all kind of this one was kind of like the horror-ish version,
right?
Of the mission. Space is a treacherous place, you know. I mean, just yet alone the fact you're in, you know, the vacuum, which means nothing is in there, no air, no warmth, nothing, you know. Even if you were to like die in space and scream, your sound would not even travel. It's mad. It's like when you think about space, it's actually very, very scary.
Yeah.
But this one, yeah, this is about, it's kind of like found footage, like a found footage film where everything you see is sort of looking through the camera's lens, and they go into part of the, like a secret mission on a moonwalk that wasn't really, you know, like, wasn't all pretty like, you know, Neil Armstrong's one, where the whole world was watching. No, this one was just for the VIP, like just because they knew shit could go wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a secret expedition to go to a region of the moon that's been unexplored, and it kind of reveals itself that they shouldn't be going there. They shouldn't be exploring certain parts of the moon. I'm pretty sure when the governments had their accord with the aliens did say to them, this part of the moon should not be explored. You know, I know they got an agreement. I know the aliens and the government's got an agreement. I don't care what anyone says. Them lot are in cahoots, yeah. They not to explore region 4-5.
Holy shit, man! No, it's so funny.
True.
It's true, man. It's true. What I love about this, though, if you have a look at the poster, check this out. On the poster, it says, "There's a reason why. There's a reason we've never gone back to the moon."
You see?
I love it.
And the moon is ours. I'm telling you, the aliens like, leave us. It's our moon.
Listen. Oh, by the way, before you kind of carry on with this, there's a Harvard professor who came out a couple of days ago who just said that apparently aliens visited us in 2017. I did not even know about this. There was this actual rock or something that was found somewhere, and he's saying that was aliens that visited us. This Harvard professor. This is Harvard University, which is one of the top universities in the world, and there's a professor who's saying this.
Are you serious?
Yes, from Vega. It says the object in question traveled toward our solar system from the direction of Vega, a nearby star 25 light years away, and this happened on the 6th of September in 2017.
How can they travel from Vega to here? 20, how many light years? 26 light years.
Yeah, and this happened and the object was seen in 2017.
Oh gosh.
And it was dubbed Oumuamua.
That's mad.
Yeah.
If that's true, that's crazy. But to get here, like 27 light years away is no short distance. That takes, in the fastest rockets, that will take, I can't even do the calculations, like take thousands of years in the fastest rockets. I mean, it's just, how does someone travel that distance? A light year itself is like the distance of light. That light will travel in a year. It's just mad. 187,000 miles per second. And you're doing that for a year. Imagine traveling that fast for a year.
Oh.
And that's just one light year. Imagine 2, 3, 4, 5. Mate.
Madness. See, this is it. This is why we've never been to the moon, folks, because
Exactly.
all these things. So so that's Apollo 18. That one's from 10 years ago. From 15 years ago, Ice Age 2, Devaldo. I saw the first one. I haven't seen the second one, I'll be honest.
I ain't seen any of them. Ice Age 2, The Meltdown. So
oh my gosh.
all these films got like a link to our main movie review. So if you just let us know what the link is on social media, we'll send you that Rakuten movie code so you can win a movie to watch in your own home.
Yep.
So this one, Ice Age 2, The Meltdown. Do you know what? I'm going to go for this one real quick. It's got John Leguizamo. It's got Queen Latifah too, but this one's about obviously the Ice Age, creatures, woolly mammoths, all that kind of stuff, and how they are, I guess, negotiating the Earth going through changes, because the Ice Age was very, very perilous for a lot of creatures. A lot of creatures were wiped out when the Ice Age happened, and every now and then Earth has to refresh, isn't it? So. But that's it. Nice animation for kids, not too heavy, but Ice Age 2.
And if you're looking for something that will give you a bit of chills, check out this next one from 20 years ago, 2001, Ghosts of Mars. John Carpenter. We are fans of John Carpenter on the show. I mean, we like a lot of his movies, The Fog, The Thing, obviously, They Live. I mean, Big Trouble in Little China. Man, he's made some great movies. And he made this movie back in 2001. Natasha Henstridge, Ice Cube, Jason Statham. Oh my gosh, man.
I didn't realize that.
I totally forgot about that. Jason Statham, Pam Grier, she's in it as well, Jackie Brown. And so this is kind of like, a John Carpenter movie, a horror movie, but in space. Ghosts of Mars, in Mars. So imagine the shit that's going to go down over there. But Matt Deval, I watched this film, like it probably was like 2001. I can't even remember it.
Yeah, I saw this one ages ago, but it's literally set 200 years in the future. 2176, Martian police unit is sent to pick up a highly dangerous criminal at a remote mining post. And upon arriving, the cops find out that the post has become a crazy place. That's all I can say. There's some ghosts and all kinds of mad shit going on there. But it's set like quite a lot of time in the future when it looks like humans have managed to inhabit, I should say, Mars, because that's the next best place according to science that that humans could possibly inhabit if they can get it right. So interesting one.
Yeah,
interesting
that is.
One.
All right, next up, Star Trek First Contact 25 years ago. Now, this is the Star Trek The Next Generation crew. This is their one. And just remind me, is this the one with Tom Hardy in this one?
Oh, First Contact, I believe.
No, it might not be. It might not be then.
It's I think Insurrection, I think is the one you're looking for.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's a different one. But yeah, you're right. He was in one of them, wasn't he?
He was in one of them, yeah. Star Trek. So Star Trek First Contact is, when obviously it is what it is. They make contact with aliens, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. And it's the next, like I said, it's the next generation, like Picard and Riker were number one.
Yeah.
And Data.
Data, oh my gosh, man.
That name is exactly what it does on a tin. But so the Borg traveled back in time, intent on preventing Earth's first contact with an alien species. And obviously, so the Borg are, they're the ones that assimilate, aren't they? They're the ones that
Resistance.
All of them are connected.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Resistance is futile, and they get Picard. They get him. And then Insurrection is the whole kind of. He has flashbacks of it, and I think Insurrection. In one of these movies, it does link up to one of the episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation. I remember that, and that was pretty cool. But it's good. And so Star Trek: First Contact. They made quite a few. I think they did quite a few. They did Insurrection, First Contact, and I think maybe there was another one as well. Star Trek Generations. Do you remember that? The old Star Trek crew meet the new Star Trek crew. They meet up, man. And talking about the old crew, in our last movie that we're going to speak about is Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. So this is 30 years ago, and this is the old original Star Trek crew. So William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, you got, I can't remember what the other actors, like Bones, you got Scotty, you got all those guys.
Yeah, DeForest Kelly, that's his name. That's
McCoy. McCoy.
And James Doohan is Scotty.
And you know what? He wasn't even Scottish.
Are you serious? Oh,
he wasn't even. I think it was Canadian. I think it was Canadian.
He's Canadian.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. It's crazy. But yeah, it's got 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.2 on IMDb, and yeah. So it's kind
Kim
of
Cattrall was in it.
Oh,
right. From Sex in the City.
Sex in the City.
Damn. Okay.
That's it, the Klingons. I think that one is the one with the Klingons in it. So yeah, there's some shit going on with the Klingons over there. So listen, look, folks, like as Deval mentioned, there's a connection to our movie that we're going to speak about, our film review. And this is a new George Clooney movie. So this is called The Midnight Sky. It was released on the 23rd of December, the 22nd or the 23rd of December, is around about then. And, obviously we watched it, and we're going to speak about that right now. So first things first, it's been a while, Devaldo, since George Clooney's directed a movie, hasn't it?
Yeah, what was it? Was it Syriana, or was that him? Yes,
that was him.
Syriana? Okay,
yeah.
I keep getting that mixed up with Argo. Argo was Batman, wasn't it?
Was Batman. Yeah, that's right. And the thing is, right, I'm pretty sure he's been behind, like his production company's been behind, like, some movies. But I think this is the first time that he's only made a few movies. And I think like what you said about Syriana, and I think he made another movie called Good Night and Good Luck and something. So a lot of people were, his movies, when he directs them, I think they do pretty well. I think it was nominated for an Oscar, one of his movies as well. And I know for a fact that the people who act in his movies, they get nominated for Oscars as well. So he kind of picks these kind of like heartfelt movies, these deep movies, these profound movies, and there's kind of like, a clear message in them. And in this movie, he plays a scientist. He's kind of old. He's kind of... he's kind of weathering the storm. And I say storm because he's holed up in, like, is it the North Pole? I can't remember, Deval. Is it the North Pole? I think
the Arctic Circle. So I think
Arctic Circle.
Same thing, I think.
Yeah, so he's holed up in the Arctic Circle, and he appears to be like, the only person there, and he's kind of in control of this station, and he's there trying to send a message to anyone out in space. And the message is we've all been decimated. There's no one alive, or we're basically fucked. That is basically his message. And there's one crew that are traveling in space. They're making their way back to planet Earth. And George Clooney's role is to basically stop those people from coming back to space, because there is nothing to come back to, because the Earth has been covered in some kind of, Arctic snow or some sort of radiation or whatever it is. I can't remember exactly what it is. So the movie is about him, living in isolation, and about these people who are up in space trying to make it back, and then obviously George Clooney, his life on the station. And you get some flashbacks to his life as when he was young, and about this marriage that he had, and he kind of failed at that marriage, and he kind of failed at being a dad. And it's this kind of story about him living with regret, I would say, as well. And the people out in space, they are living with hope, because David and Felicity Jones, they're a married couple. They're scientists. They're obviously astronauts, but they're going to be having, a child together. So they're obviously hoping that, they're coming back to Earth, and they're going to kind of bring up this child. Whereas the reality is, on Earth, there is nothing on Earth. So there's this kind of juxtaposition going on over there. So that's how the movie plays out. And Deval, I mean, I got to tell you, I was expecting more, if I'm being honest.
Oh, okay.
I was expecting more. It's a slow burner. there are some kind of like nice moments in the movie, kind of like the scenery, the cinematography is great, don't get me wrong. And, we focus on George Clooney's life. He's not in the best of health, but he's trying to do as much as he can to save humanity because that's what he wants. He wants basically to save humanity, right?
Yeah, no, he does. And you can see he's he's personally really invested. And obviously, we're not going to spoil one of the reasons why he's personally invested in trying to, communicate with this crew. There are a few like twists and things that unearth themselves that you think, oh, okay. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I did expect a bit more from this film as well. But as I was watching it, I realized that I thought this might be a bit more of a, I don't know, not action, but I thought there might be a bit more of something. But then I realized, I think what the film was maybe, I don't know, maybe what he set it out to be, which was like a film about connection, really, or something like that. Family connection or people connection, connecting with people at a time of at a time of most sort of low, like how Deep Impact was the sentimental version of Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Remember that?
Yeah, totally.
But for me, obviously, I like my science in it, and for me, one of the things I really liked about this film was the fact that they talked about like science in trying. They tried to be realistic and tried to be real with the science about Jupiter's moons and stuff like that. But the thing that they did do that I didn't like was they made up a moon K23.
Oh,
which they said they called it an undiscovered moon because there is no moon K23 around Jupiter. The moons that are the most sort of common, the biggest moons are like Io, Ganymede, Callisto, and Europa, which we'll quickly talk about afterwards as well. But the moon K23 that they spoke about really, really resembles the current moon Io, which is a moon that is it's a bit of a weird one because this moon is in between when it goes down the orbit is between two other moons, and Io is one of the most volcanic objects in the solar system. There's like volcanoes happening every minute on Io, like really
wow.
mad volcanic occurrences. And people thought, why is that the case? But then they realized it's because of their orbit around Jupiter and the gravity that is exerted around the orbit when it goes past the other moons and also goes obviously going past Jupiter. And the gravity from these other bodies, is massaging Io. So Io is quite malleable, and the insides, the internals of Io are quite. It's all rocky, and with the friction continuously going past other objects, it causes heat, it causes movement, and that's what causes all the volcanic sort of eruptions, and that's what they try to liken to this new moon that was discovered, K23. But they're saying that this moon wasn't as treacherous. They're saying that the moon has got its own sort of atmosphere and it's kind of warm, and it's because of this internal geological sort of happenings. So it's kind of similar in some respects to Io, but not so treacherous. So I kind of see where they were going with that. But then I think the whole science of them using gravity to catapult to Jupiter, that makes sense. It also does make sense that in the future Earth is going to be fucked because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Just ask Greta Thunberg or whatever her name is. I'm sure she loved this film. So there's a lot of science in this that was real, and I liked the way they played with it. But one thing I know that it wasn't correct, which obviously in movies you can't be 100% correct,
Right.
is the communication. When George Clooney was communicating with the ship coming from Jupiter, I mean, just even the moon's like 260 or 255 thousand miles away, and to get a message to the moon and back, for the message to get to the moon will take like just over a second, and then for them to reply back would take just over a second too. So there'll always be a bit of a pause with communications because radio waves travel at speed of light.
Yeah.
But if you're near Jupiter or Mars or wherever it is, and you're coming back and you're communicating, it will take minutes for that message to go and come back. So they're not going to be talking like they're talking over the phone. But obviously, in a movie, you can't really show that. So I kind of get it. But overall, I liked it more for the science. I liked the sort of family connect. I don't want to spoil anything, but the connection between the characters, and you know, it was okay. It wasn't great, but I still think it's worth a watch. Better than Wonder Woman, guys.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Definitely better than
better
Wonder
than
Woman.
Woman. Yeah. I do like the way George
Yeah. Go on.
Clooney looks very down and out, which I've not really seen him that way in a long time. Well, ever really. So yeah, something
Exactly.
different.
Something different, isn't it? One of his movies was on TV the other day called Three Kings, which is a movie that I love. It's made in 1999.
You like that film?
I love that movie. And then I was watching that, and then obviously when you see him in something like Midnight Sky, it's like there is a stark difference. And the movie, it kind of. He looks weathered, doesn't he? He looks old, he looks frail, and he's like, the journey that he has to make and stuff like that, to try and save humanity. Yeah, you're right about the whole connection thing. And I hadn't looked at it like that, actually. And obviously coming from this pandemic right now where we need as much connection as possible. Yeah, it's really interesting that you said that. So in that regards, it's good. But I think what I was kind of expecting was maybe a bit more of like, I don't know, some life, some verve. And because some of his movies are, like when you think about Syriana and when you think about kind of the other movies that he's been in, kind of like Gravity, there's kind of like a bit more action in that. But yeah, like on the whole, like Deval said, better than Wonder Woman. So if there's a choice of watching Midnight Sky or Wonder Woman, watch Midnight Sky, or watch our hidden gem, which we're going to speak about, which is called Europa Report, Deval.
Yeah, we hardly ever really, we don't really bring up hidden gems more than once because there's so many hidden gems out there. But this one is so relevant to Midnight Sky. It's almost like, two of the same type of films, just done in different ways. But I'll quickly speak about this one. I'll also direct you to our YouTube channel as well, because we've got a good hidden gem talk about Europa Report, which has garnered quite a lot of discussion. Even to this day, we posted that over 2 years ago and people are still talking about it. So Europa Report is a really good hidden gem. The ratings aren't that high, but it's quite interesting. But Europa Report is a 2013 movie starring Choplo. What's his name again? Choplo.
Charlton Copley.
That's the one, yeah. The one from... he's been in a few films. He's been in what's that film that he's in again? District 9, was it?
Yeah,
that's one. Yeah, so he's in that one. He stars in it. But yeah, this Europa Report is about a science mission to Jupiter's moon. Again, Jupiter, Europa, and Europa is a planet that is literally ice. It is ice. It's got a thick layer of ice. I think it's about. I swear it's miles. It's about 3 miles, I think, of ice. It's really thick ice. But the thing about Europa that makes it so special is that beneath the thick ice is a massive ocean. We mentioned about the tidal massaging or the tidal movements of planets when they're doing their orbits. And because of that, under the ice, there's a bit of heat being generated from the orbits. So there's a massive ocean of free flowing water. And scientists say that the ocean in Europa is more than all the oceans on Earth. So imagine that, a lot of water, and Earth is 2/3 water, and the water or the oceans are one of the most unexplored things, or places on Earth. So imagine another ocean in the solar system that's unexplored, that could have some kind of life. Who knows? But in this film, they go over there to try and explore the oceans of Europa. They use a really sophisticated drilling technique where they drill down underneath the ice and go into the oceans and explore and see what's going on there. And all I can say is they find a lot more than they bargained for. But it's a real life thing that's going to happen in the near future. They're already planning to get to Europa in Jupiter's moon. They're already planning to go to Triton, one of I think it's Saturn's moons that has a liquid methane oceans on that planet. I think if they're going to find life, it's going to be on one of these moons. So, there's a lot going on when it comes to sort of, space exploration. I think the planets are not where it is. I think Mars is the only place where, possible, habitation and stuff like that. But apart from that, it's the moons. The only thing they've got to contend with Jupiter is the possible radiation that Jupiter emits and the magnetic. Yeah, because Jupiter's got a massive magnetic sort of magnetosphere and magnetic radiation and all sorts, because there's no Jupiter's so big, and it orbits so quickly. I think Jupiter orbits or rotates. Sorry, I think 10 hours it takes to rotate. I think so. It's something really quick. So it whips up a lot of magnetism and all kinds of particles and stuff like that. So even if there could be some sort of possibility of going to one of those moons, you're going to have to need some crazy shielding to protect you from not just Jupiter's all the particles and stuff, but from the sun as well, which is going to be a bit less because it's far away, but still there's all kinds of things that can bombard you if you're not protected. So there's a lot, but yeah, Europa Report is a decent film. If you're going to go and if you want to watch a double bill of, going to space and trying to, spark up life or inhabit another celestial object, watch these two back to back and tell us or let us know which one you prefer. Both very different films, but both have very similar objectives. So yeah, go give that one a watch, guys.
Definitely. Directed by an Ecuadorian guy, actually. I've heard something Cordero. I can't remember what is his. Sebastian Cordero. And listen, I thought the visuals on this. The guy who did the cinematography for 127 Hours did the cinematography for this one, and it's like the visual style is really, really great, and movies like Moon come to mind as well. It's a great movie. So go check it out, and obviously check out our YouTube page, and let us know what you think. All right, so Deval, I think that's all we've got time for.
Yep, definitely, guys. Peace out. Look out for our what's coming up next in 2021. Gonna have a whole lot of fun. Don't know why I said that.
All right, have a good one, folks, and we will see you next week.
Peace out, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.